Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of This Could Be Your Life. If you send us $500,000, we'll send you a certificate, a cheap certificate that we print off, stating that this is also your life. But you have to pay an extra $100 for shipping and delivery. So, anyway, I want to talk about heroin. Why do I want to talk about heroin? Because every time I open up YouTube, at least for the last few days, suggested videos include one on heroin, and I had a friend who was a heroin addict. Really a sad story. And from what I understand, this area seems to have a problem with that. I've never done heroin, so I can't speak to how it affects you. I'm glad I've never used heroin, because from what I've seen from the people that I've seen use it, I'm like, it's not, I don't want anything to do with that. And my friend who used it, he would shoot up, and then he would sit down, light a cigarette, and he would do that. He would take one puff off the cigarette to light it, and yeah, and I'm like, what's the point in that, you smoke pot, you can enjoy the relaxation, and you're still somewhat functional, I mean, I wouldn't drive, I wouldn't smoke pot and drive, but then again, there's smoking too much pot, which won't kill you, but it'll make you dumb.
Well, we're dumb anyway.
And there was some talk for a short while about trying to help the addicts in this area through the private sector, if you will. Other activists helping, or I should say activists helping the people who are trying to get off of this stuff. And I offered help to the one person that was saying, hey, why don't we all get together and do something about this, and nothing ever came of it. Now, to be honest with you, I don't think there's much I could do as an individual. Like I said, one thing is I've never done heroin, and so I don't know how it affects you. I can only speak to what I've seen, which is an experience in the sense that I experienced being there when this particular person was doing this, but I've never put it in my body. One thing that has been one method of getting people off drugs that has been successful is to wean them off. But I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not an EMT, I'm not anything like that. So I would not be willing to help a person get off of the drugs, wean them off that way, because I wouldn't know how much to give them. I'd be afraid I'd give them too much and kill them. And that's definitely not what I'd be wanting to do. My friend that was a heroin addict, he was a really smart guy. His dad worked for NASA. He was an engineer for NASA. And he He could sit there and do coding on the computer. You know, I mean, he made programs all the time. He enjoyed that kind of thing. Yet, and he was really smart, and he was well read. You know, he had an apartment, he had a computer, he had a TV, he had books, and all that, and then he wound up owing people on the west side money because of the heroin, had to give him his car, lost his apartment. Hopefully he went back home and got some help, but I don't know. You know, I don't know what happened to him. I'm kind of afraid to find out because I'm afraid he overdosed and killed himself. And see, that's another thing with drugs like that. You don't actually know how, one, you don't know how pure it is. Two, you don't know how strong it is. So, you know, you could be shooting some of that stuff up thinking it's just like the last batch you had, and it could kill you. I mean, I wish there was something I could do to help people, but I don't know what I can do. You know, I would recommend Rational Recovery, which I believe is rational.org. Let's see if I can provide a link. But I definitely do not suggest AA or NA or anything like that. But I do highly recommend Rational Recovery and orangepapers.org. But I'll provide links to them. So I guess I didn't say too much, but I don't know.